What's up, you damn gorgeous, beautiful gamers? Welcome back to Role-Playing Games. This is Mariel Corner in the internet where we like to discuss about RPGs. If you like the content, if you like to have these conversations with Mariel James, I'd very much like to invite you, like always, to hit the like button, because it really helps me, like you have no idea. And also, most of the people that watches my content are in fact not subscribed to my channel, so what are you waiting for? Today's video I am going to share with you my favorite ALD weapon. This thing is so goddamn overpowered, as you can see on screen right now. So, you might be thinking that since this is a weapon that you get from just regular basic enemies as you start the game, it's just not as amazing as other weapons that you can get on the later stages of the game. Let me tell you, that's actually one of the strengths of this weapon. Since it is a weapon that you can get early on in the game, that means that you can start farming for weapon shots, plague shots for this weapon as soon as you begin the game, and you can just max out this weapon and keep using it and using it and using it as long as you encounter another weapon that you feel more comfortable with. Now, what is the other amazing thing about this weapon is that it deals claw damage. So you might be thinking that, why do I want claw damage if I already have the claw to take care of that? That's where it gets interesting, because at the early stages of the game, you need your talent points. Talent points are so very goddamn powerful. And the more you can manage them better, the more easy time you're going to have with this game, honestly. And since we already have so much claw damage with this thing, that means that you don't actually have to invest points into the claw talent tree. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, and you might actually feel the same way as I do. Whenever you are fighting, if you do not upgrade your claw, it's not going to be efficient, and it's going to take you way too long to kill the enemies. We have our regular basic attacks that deal amounts of wounds damage. The gray bar of the enemy, that's protecting the rest of the health bar of the enemy. That's the claw health bar of the enemy. More often than not, when you start the game and you deal a combo, because this is a fast-paced game, you deal a full combo and you deplete as much of the gray health bar of the enemy, and then you deal the claw damage. It's not going to deplete the whole thing. More often than not, it's going to leave it like half the damage that you dealt with your amount of wounds damage. This thing, it's going to deplete it completely. If you deal a combo damage with this thing, a complete combo damage, and then you cast the knife, it's going to keep things even. It's going to deplete the same amount of damage that you dealt to your wounds damage. So it's going to keep things even. Another important thing is that you have hyper armor with this thing. If you pair this up with other skills, with other talent trees, it's going to build something so goddamn powerful that you won't actually have to worry about anything. This also works with bosses. If you deal with bosses, you have to be careful about how many attacks you do. So you have chance to deal a certain amount of attacks and then one claw attack damage. It's not efficient. You need to pair that up before they actually start healing again. With this thing, you complete the combo and you cast the knife. It's going to deplete that claw health at the very same pace at the basic attack weapon damage. So, with the hyper armor and the fastness that this thing attacks, it's always going to ensure that the enemies are going to be one-shotted as soon as you deplete the amount of basic regular damage. Some skills, you have time to play around with this thing. We have Energized Weapon Level 1. Restore energy when hitting enemies with saber attacks. We also have a must-take. Healing Execution is one of the must-take talent points that I advise you to take whenever playing Thymesia. It gives you momentum, it keeps you on the action, and if you execute enemies, you recover energy and you can keep using your knife. Same with this energized weapon. If you're fighting a boss and you keep doing combos, you're never going to run out of energy to use your knife because it doesn't really cost that much energy. And oh boy, is it amazing that it has 1 second to recast. So it's just amazing. Like I said, you can use this thing at the very beginning of the game until you find something else that you feel more comfortable with. It's just that amazing of a weapon, and you can upgrade it as soon as you start the game. You can farm the shards for it, and you can just make this weapon more deadly. But yeah, like always, if you find the information useful, I would very much like for you to help me with liking the video, and remember to subscribe to the channel before you close the door. Remember that if no one has told you today that you're a gorgeous, beautiful person, you are indeed a gorgeous, beautiful person. A beautiful day, and I'll see you goddamn gorgeous, beautiful people in the next one. Goodbye.